Hi guys, we are now with Pastor Mark, one of the speakers. Medyo matangkad si Pastor Mark, habol ako. One of the speakers with the world needs a father. So, just some simple questions. So, Pastor Mark, why do you think the world needs a father?
Wow, that's a big question. The world needs a father because we really believe that God created the father to mold the basic unit of society, and that is the family. So we firmly believe that society can really change from the basic unit of society. Collectively, if we are able to transform fathers into the fathers that God wants them to be, we really believe that, you know, as the family is transformed, then it will go up. In other words, it will go to the community will be transformed, and then after, maybe by God's grace, an entire city or town can be transformed. And you know, if we do our part, you know, just simply do our part, helping our families become the kind of families that God wants them to be, then we can transform the nation and hopefully the world. And that's why the world needs a father.
So just a follow-up question. Kasi I've attended yung first session about a fatherless crisis. There's a fatherless crisis. And you mentioned there about the broken way of fathering.
Okay.
So we have this performance. I think that's
performance-driven father.
Performance way of fathering. So among those four, there are four actually that you mentioned. Among those four, what do you think is the most prevalent sa society natin ngayon?
Well, it depends on the culture. It's just my personal opinion, because there are four. One is the performance-driven father, and then second is the passive type of father, and then third is the punitive type of father, and then fourth is the permissive type of father. So, all of us, in one way, we are broken. I think culturally, there are some cultures that are dominantly there is a type of broken fathering. For example, in the Western side, in the Western culture, mas dominant yung performance driven. I think because they have this, you know, this attitude of, you know, you go, they're goal driven, so they have this tendency to bring that into their family, that they have a tendency to really pressure their children to perform. So for the Asians, I think we are leaning towards the passive type of fathering, because the passive type of fathering, basically, this fathering is as long as I bring home the bacon, as long as I work hard, support my family, then that's okay. I don't need to connect so much with my children. So therefore, there is a disconnect emotionally with the fathers and their children. So in that case, they become passive. The younger generation today, or the younger families, they fall into the permissive category. The permissive category is like, go lang, okay lang, anak, you know.
Parang you only live once, just enjoy
only live
life.
once, so it's okay. I don't need to discipline you so much, diba? So in that sense, they believe that if I am like a cool type of dad, diba? Pinabayaan ko lang yung anak ko, I'm a good father. But of course, that also creates a lot of damage, as we have discussed in the seminar. So yeah, I think that's basically.
So you heard that for us Filipinos, most are passive
right,
fathers.
that's right.
So it also depends on the culture. But you know what? You're gonna learn more a lot with the world needs a father. So that's why we are doing this. We really want to promote. Ako personally, I'm 30 years old, but I'm really learning a lot with this seminar. So why don't you invite them, Pastor Mark, to attend the world needs a father next
Yes,
time?
I invite you. You know, this is for me, one of the best seminars. You know, you really want to change the world. This is the seminar to go to. In the World Needs a Father, we believe that not only do we conduct seminars, but we want this to be a movement. You know, a movement of fathers building unbreakable families and healthy communities. So we invite you to be part of the training. We invite you to be part of the movement. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
So now I'm with one of the attendees, official photographer. Official photographer in the world needs a father. So I'm with Brother Noel. So tanungin ko lang, Kuya Noel, why do you think na ang fathers, it is really important for us to really attend a seminar like this? Bakit ba?
Siyempre para magampanan mo yung part mo sa father. Kasi naging tatay ka pero di mo alam kung ba't ka naging father. So pag attend mo rito, i-realize mo na ganun pala maging isang ang responsibility ng isang ama.
So it's more of about the purpose why you are becoming a father.
Yes.
Tama?
Hindi yung basta naging tatay ka lang. So, nakalaman mo yung purpose. Lalo mo sa pagiging ama, pagiging asawa, pagiging lolo. So, pagiging
Lolo ka na ba?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So hi guys, so we are now on day 2 of our vlog. So I just want to feature these two people, single people, but they are together for how many years na?
For almost 2 years na rin
For
po.
almost 2 years. So just one or two questions. What made you decide to attend The World Needs a Father? Kasi single, most people think na kapag single, enjoy mo muna yung single life, enjoy mo muna yung pagiging single man, single woman. But what made you decide to really attend a parenting seminar like this, specifically for mothers and fathers? Okay, so ikaw MA, father,
Okay.
man first. Okay.
So, before kasi ako lang Christian sa family. So, yung seminar kasi talagang big help siya for us to be a better dad in the future kasi hindi ko rin naman masisisi yung parents ko kung bakit ganun yung pagpapalaki sa akin before, and not knowing kung ano ba talaga yung parang steps or guide kung paano magpalaki, mag-guide ng family, syempre. So, great responsibility din kasi talaga yung pag-lead ng family, especially sa father side. Though, hindi naman natin i-set aside yung responsibility ng asawa, syempre.
Asawa na.
Future wife.
Future wife.
Na, syempre, kakakibat din naman natin siya sa pag-lead ng family. So, yan.
Okay, so mainly sa'yo is that to really prepare.
Yeah.
Prepare. Okay. Ikaw naman, Denise.
Basically same with him, to anticipate, to plan things kasi I came from a fatherless family.
Okay.
So don't want, also my mother is abroad. I basically marami akong father wound, mother wound, and I don't want to experience that wounds that I have experienced with na yung mga experience sa mga future family ko or kids or something like that. And also, I wanted to be a godly steward. I'm actually exercising that stewardship. I wanted to prepare kasi yun yung design ni Lord. I wanted to basically I attended because I wanted to glorify the Lord. Yun
Okay,
lang.
so makikita natin na for Denise, it is really based on experience na
Yes.
a fatherless family and yung mom is in abroad, tama ba?
Yes.
Nag-work sa abroad. So calling out all the singles out there,
Yeah,
di ba?
yeah.
Kumbaga, sige, why don't you invite them to attend maybe next year, no? Pag nagkaroon
Yeah.
or wherever they are, if they hear about the world needs a father and a mother seminar. So why don't you encourage them? Dalawa kayo, sige.
Ikaw muna.
So yun guys, we're inviting all the singles out there na katulad din namin na syempre somehow
Planning,
preparation and
oo.
planning.
To
Syempre
get married.
kasi di ba minsan kadalasan pinopursue natin magka-boyfriend, magka-girlfriend, pero hindi natin nakikita yung beyond na responsibility na pwedeng magkaroon tayo kapag maging mag-asawa na, kasi more on focusing lang tayo sa relationship pero hindi natin talaga alam yung pinaka-responsibility na magkakaroon tayo pag magiging mother and father na rin tayo.
Yeah, so we encourage all the singles actually kasi kung kayo ay married na tapos ngayon lang magpe-prepare kayo pag married na, paano pa
Exactly.
kayo you're busy na.
Yes.
I think you will no longer konti na lang yung time mo para pag-aralan to. Yun lang po.
And this will also help them, di ba? Kumbaga, preparation talaga. This is all about preparation because even we know already God's plan for us is great and better. We still need to do our part, and we truly believe that God will use people just like our speakers, di ba? For sure we are blessed. God will surely use people for us to gain wisdom. So that's it. So thank you MA and Denise. I do hope na lahat tayo ay maka-attend for our next The World Needs a Father. And also, if you want na ikasal na sila this year, joke lang.
Lord willing.
Like this video and comment if you really want. So yan, God bless. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, hi guys, I'm with one of the attendees here sa The World Needs a Father. So, what's your name, bro?
I'm Jay. from Faith Works Christian Church.
Okay, so Jay, tama?
Yes, Jay.
So far, we are now on day 2 of our The World Needs a Father. So, what are the learnings that you had since day 1 dito sa The World Needs a Father? Siguro yung one or two learnings that you had.
Okay, actually, I'm get shocked kasi this coming April, si Mrs. may baby na kami this coming April.
Wow.
Nanganak na siya. And it is so timely na naintindihan ko yung paano ba yung child develop at gaano ba kalaga yung role ng father at ng mother. And I'm so thankful because yung The World Needs a Father ay sobrang connected din sa akin. So, yun yung I'm so excited pa sa mga lessons pa na parating.
Okay,
I think
so it's timely. Kumbaga,
Yes, it's so timely.
So,
yes. Yes, sir.
So, another question. Why do you think the world really needs a father?
Well, actually, in our situation in the world today, yung mga father parang sila na ngayon nagkakabaligtad eh. Pero parang yung generation ngayon, yung father nasa likod, yung mother na yung so I think the world needs a father. It's time talaga na ma-train ulit yung mga fathers na sila yung kumbaga mauna. They need to lead, hindi yung mga babae. So I think in my time, in my generation, I think that's a huge responsibility na pwede kong magawa in our world today.
Ilan taong ka na ba, bro?
I'm 35.
35?
Yes.
So millennial. So
Yes, millennial.
You heard it from a millennial.
Yes, sir.
And a soon-to-be father. That,
Yes.
Yes, indeed, the world really needs
Yes,
a
yes,
father.
yes,
So thank you
yes.
so much.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless. God bless.
Hi guys, I'm now with two of the attendees. They are millennial couples.
Wow, millennial. Hashtag
So,
millennial.
earlier I interviewed yung mga single pa, but couple, but they also attend The World Needs a Father. So now we are interviewing Kevin and Nina, who are also the hosts of this seminar. So 2 days we have been with them. So just maybe one or two questions. Okay.
Go ahead.
So why do you think, siguro kay Kevin, so why do you think the world needs a father, especially that you're a father right now?
Well, the reality of things is that a lot of crimes or a lot of bad things happen in this world are rooted from fatherlessness. Psychology dictates that. The evidence suggests that mass shootings in the US, for a lot of mass shootings in the US, if you observe, a lot of them are fatherless based on interviews and studies. And no offense, but a lot of drug addicts and prostitution is based from fatherlessness because their fathers failed to express or affirm their love for their children. Hence, so the question is this important? Or
Yes. Why do you really need to understand the importance of fathers?
If you know how it is to be a good father, not just be a father, but
Okay.
be a good father in your own children, you will see that your own children can change the world. Part of being a part of the lesson in The World Needs a Father is developing children to be trendsetters.
Okay.
And if you become a good father and a loving father to your own child, your child can be that trendsetter that may change the world around them.
Okay, so it's more like parang passing the baton, di ba?
It's passing the baton and making the world a better place.
Okay, great answer. So syempre hindi rin natin papakawalan yung sagot ng kanyang asawa if her wife will say the same. But the question is for the wife, what do you think the role of mothers or wives pagdating sa fulfillment ng sinabi ni Kevin na passing the baton? So what do you think is the role, the special role of the wives?
I think it's best to understand yung where we should stand according to the word of God. And in today's society kasi we have feminism and women empowerment. It's not that we're lesser. It's not that we're lesser than men because we have a different role, but in fulfilling that role to support the men and encourage them and being their best supporter is really important because leading a family or being a father is really a difficult task. And they need a lot of encouragement and love from and nurturing from the wife and also as a mother to the child.
So you heard that it's really a partnership, di ba? Kumbaga tulungan. Though this seminar is all about father, it's also for the mothers, di ba? Kasi hindi kaya ni Kevin mag-isa, hindi niya kaya yung roles na yun mag-isa. She needs Nina, and we need someone who supports us. So siguro as we end this, why don't you invite everyone to join the next seminar? Hopefully, maybe here in Antipolo or somewhere else.
All right. Anyone? I'm reaching out. I'd like to reach out especially to those who are burdened in their hearts. This is not just for fathers na magulang na. This is also for single people who foresee themselves to be fathers, or even just single men. Kasi you can also be a father to the fatherless as a single person. So if you are burdened in your heart to see, if you see the problems of society nowadays, if you're burdened in your heart to change, to make a change in this world, and you know and you want to see how it can impact the world through the youth, I suggest that you join the next seminar, the World Needs a Father seminar. That will happen anytime within this year. It will be announced. Just go look for the page, The World Needs a Father. And we'll be glad to equip you, we'll be glad to empower you to help how to become good fathers and mothers too.
Alright, so you heard it from them. We invite you everyone to join this.
Welcome.
Yes! All the mothers are also invited. Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you.
So hi guys, I'm with Brother June Collis.
Hi.
So we are now here on the day 2 ng ating The World Needs a Father seminar, and it is really exciting because we are really learning a lot. So Brother June, by the way, he's also my D group leader, and he really inspired me to really join us, kami mag-asawa, to be part of this seminar, and we are really learning a lot. So Brother June, why do the world really needs a father?
You see, most of the major problems in the world are rooted in the fatherlessness. I believe the fathers has the major part in educating, training the children. Kapag ang father wala sa tahanan, nagugulo talaga yung mga anak. Hindi alam kung saan pupunta, anong gagawin. Pero kapag may tatay, yung mga anak na napapanuto sila. Lalo na kapag yung tatay godly at malapit sa Panginoon, mas nadadala yung mga bata sa mabuti, and so therefore yung mga major problems natin sa mundo actually nasusolve unti-unti.
So, ibig sabihin pa nito, pag yung father mismo is, kumbaga may purpose, pag naayos natin yung father figure siguro sa family, it could really change the world.
Definitely. One family at a time, we can change the world. And fathers have a major role in doing that.
Okay, so major role. So, why don't you invite everyone siguro sa next run ng ating The World Needs a Father? By the way, we are doing it here at CCF Antipolo. So, why don't you invite everyone to join me siguro next run of our The World Needs a Father?
Yeah, we would like to invite you to join whenever you read eventually maglalagay kami ng mga schedules pa of seminar. Join us so you can also learn with us about how to be a father to our children.
Alright, so that's it with our coordinator, Brother June Collins.
Thank you.
Affirmation. Okay. Okay. Now you have to understand that we have 4 roles of the father. So moral authority, and then you have identity, and then what we discussed this morning is emotional security, and this afternoon is affirmation of potential. Now you do it all at the same time. So we affirm, but at the same time you have to remember that you set the moral standards for your children. So you deal with the issues by teaching them about moral standards, and I believe it has been discussed fully in the previous lessons. So you teach them the moral standards, you teach them about purpose, that's why you have the purpose statement. You show them, you model to them what is right and what is wrong. Why is this important? Because we are more on the preventive side rather than on the corrective side.
Okay? Because sometimes we tend to correct our children for things that were never really taught to them. So when you talk about moral authority, you train them to do what is right. Now, I would not like to repeat the training on that particular topic, but I believe that the topic on discipline was discussed when you talked about moral authority. So affirmation has to do with love, okay, and moral authority has to do with control. So hindi po yung installment process. Okay, you have to do all things at the same time. Yun yung intention. Now when it comes to verbal abuse, I give it to the expert.
Well, let me just add with what Pastor Jeff said. Usually, in a family, you have to really decide what are your moral values. Okay, for a Christian, I mean, of course, the Bible is our moral authority. But as a family, you need to decide what is our moral values, what do we stand for. So at an early stage, you need to communicate that to your children. For example, you value obedience to authority, you value respect towards one another. Usually in CCF we do a retreat for that. Like we encourage families to come up with their own set of values. So the idea is you come up with that and you communicate that. In fact, if you look at the seasons of life, there is, I think at the age of 8 and 9, there is what you call values. You can check that out in the seasons of life. So the idea there is that is the stage during that age that you establish values in the family. And so my point is this: when that is communicated to your family or to your children. By the way, why am I talking to you? I should be talking to them. When that is communicated to your children, the only time you discipline them is when they cross those values. Do you understand that? In other words, because some parents, they discipline just randomly. For example, he doesn't like, the father doesn't like his hair. He goes to school, his hair is, of course that's not my problem now, but I don't like your hair, and you get angry. But you get my point. I don't like what you're wearing. You're always disciplining. That's what Pastor Jacob was mentioning earlier. Oftentimes, fathers, they say more negative things than positive things. So the only time you correct is when they cross those values. Are we communicating? And that actually must be very few. You don't make 100 sets of values, right? Or 100 sets of rules. It's just very simple. Maybe 3, 4, 5 sets of values or rules in your family. And the only time you talk to them, and the only time you correct them, or the only time you discipline them, is when you see them not following those values, because that was already communicated. Are you getting what I'm saying? They know it. In fact, you ask them to memorize it. In fact, when you have family devotions, you discuss it. And they know it by heart, they know it in their mind. So whenever you talk to them and correct them about it, they already know. No, in Tagalog, hindi sila mag-overreact. Because they know I have crossed a family value. So I think what is important with fathers is you just focus on those. You don't correct them for everything in your mind or in your opinion is wrong. But that is the only time, because as was mentioned, affirmation is a better educator than correction. In other words, you must be overflowing with affirmation. And the only time you correct them is when you see them violating those family values or rules, perhaps. You can call it rules in the family. So I think I'm answering one of the questions here. Because there's several questions. That is right. Am I correct? Now the other is the verbal.
The last question is seemingly when the wife is somewhat like saying something against the husband in front of the children.
Okay. I was talking to one of you earlier. What are the natural temptations of fathers? Because course, the wives are not here, right? So this is just us. Okay. Is, when we see our wives, very talkative. Okay, siguro diretsuhin ko na lang sa Tagalog, yung nagbubunga ka, di ba, yung mga ganun. And we see our wives always hysterical, because they're very highly emotional. And we see that Pastor Jebo mentioned about the father being the dominant ingredient in the emotional soup. Right? Do you remember that? In other words, you set the emotion. So how do you deal with that if you see that your wife, you understand what I'm saying, is having a different kind of emotion? Does that make sense? Because you want to set a certain emotional standard. But you see your wife, for example, you want a positive emotion, but you see your wife being verbally, she shares a lot of time. Our natural temptation is to blame our wives. Something like, you know what, I want to do this, I want to set this, I want to be the thermostat of the house, I want to be the leader of the house. But you are like this, you're always being negative, you're always saying a lot of stuff. And our natural temptation is to blame her. But what we want to communicate and what personally I have learned, if your wife is like that, it actually is telling of your leadership. Why is your wife like that? And instead of blaming her, sabi nga nila in Tagalog, when you point a finger at someone, there are three fingers pointing back. Instead of blaming her, actually, I believe the father or the husband is responsible why she is that way. And personally, I've experienced this. And I always ask myself, why is my wife behaving that way? And I realized instead of blaming her, it's because I lack something. And most often, that is because she doesn't feel loved by the husband. She doesn't have that assurance, that security that was also mentioned, security of no divorce, the security of respect. In other words, when she feels that way, because women are responders, when you give them that assurance that you love them, they respond with respect to you. And when they respond with respect, that creates an atmosphere in the family. And hopefully, Lord willing, by the grace of God, that would allow her, not to be verbally abusive. I don't know if I'm answering the question. I don't know how to ask the question, but I'm hoping I'm answering the question. All I'm saying is this: you are the dominant ingredient in the emotional soup. And you need to take that responsibility. If your wife is like that, you need to take personal responsibility. And you need to really sit back and really, sometimes you are so affirming of your child, you are so respectful to your child, but you're not respectful to your wife. So there's something wrong with that. You need to step back and say, I need to focus on my wife, I need to give her that assurance, I need to love her, I need to win her. And then when that happens, you create that atmosphere and you are able to, allow that emotion to really happen. That right kind of emotion you want to establish in your home. So I hope that answered the question.
Let me add, yung truck niya sa truck mo. Okay? Number two, it's also a reflection that the wife is not being ministered or discipled by the husband. I think when you think about ministering to other people, you need to review and check whether is my wife receiving also the wisdom that I share with other people. So I think when you think of, who are your disciples, in the home, number one is the wife. Because when the wife is properly discipled, then you can share to her your vision, you manage to be together. So in a sense, the parenting goes with whether the husband and the wife are together in the one direction. Because when the wife is, remember that the struggle of the women is they will usurp your authority, our authority. So you might as well do something about it. And one of the ways to do that is to disciple your wife. And one of the ways also to be able to nurture your wife, as Pastor Mark was saying about, there's a problem, is that most of the Christian workers are very busy in the ministry, not having a one-on-one time with the wife. Remember that the very reason I'm saying to some of the people that I work with, you have to have a regular date with your wife. So you can tell her what's happening, you can also express your love for each other, so that can eliminate or lessen this very thing that is going to happen. So start with your loving your wife.
Okay, clear naman siguro, no? Next question, is it okay to give reward to children to motivate them for academics and good behavior? Rewards like gadget, play outside, and additional baon.
Okay, the thing with rewards is this. Okay, let me explain it this way. Sometimes the rewards we give them contradicts our purpose statements. Most parents today, they give additional gadget time for good performance in school. Okay, but you have to be aware if the limit is 25 minutes, because according to one expert, Brad Huddleston, that's the maximum accumulated time. If you give them more than that time, it's already damaging to their brain. So it's not a reward. It's like you're giving them drugs and pushing them towards addiction. So that's not good. Another thing with rewards is that sometimes the child feels rejected if he or she does not meet the expected grades, right? So if it's always reward-based, the tendency is to not give rewards if they do not meet the expectation, and to give it only when they meet the expectation. Now, is it bad to give rewards? I would say, generally speaking, it's not, but you have to be aware that sometimes some kids will be good performers, some will not. So if you keep rewarding the good performer and not rewarding the underachiever, what do you develop? Insecurity for one, and a wrong sense of reality to the other. So what you want for them to understand is you love them whether they do well or not do well. Okay? What you need to give them is not what they want, but rather what they need. Say for example, if the child is underachieving, you can express your love by helping them maybe develop a better study time or spend time with them in understanding some of the lessons. So that way, they are not performing very well, but they feel love because you are there to support them. Naintindihan mo natin? So, in a way, you don't call that reward, but that is love. It's an expression of love. So they feel supported, they feel your presence, they know that you are very much concerned with them. And again, our intention is to make the child feel accepted for who she is or he is, not for the performance. Yung well-being of the child, that is our focus, not just the performance. Because if the well-being of the child is addressed, I believe performance will follow. Pero sometimes if we focus on performance, we forget the well-being of the child. So I've seen parents destroy their children because they perform very well. Brad Huddleston said, 25 minutes maximum time for a given day. Accumulated time of gadget use. And I remember one parent saying, our policy at home is that during the weekend, unlimited time using the gadgets, if they study well. Now, according to Brad Huddleston, will you allow your child to have drugs on weekends? Because they did well in school. So it's similar to that. So the analogy speaks for itself. So you have to make sure that you affirm them, and if that affirmation aligns with your purpose. Okay? Let me give a personal example. My parents never gave me cell phones. Okay? But all the Bibles I had when I was young came from my parents. You know why? Because for them, it is important that we grow in the knowledge and fear of the Lord. So when you talk about gadgets, they will think twice. But when you talk about things that will help us grow and mature spiritually, no questions asked, they will support. Why? Because it aligns with the intention, the purpose. So always go back to that purpose statement and make sure all your actions are aligned with that purpose statement.
When you look at Facebook every March or every June during graduation time, you'll see parents put in their postings about how the child, has academically achieved certain things. And there was this one child who posted something like this. Why didn't the parents not only celebrate the high remarks, the high grades, but also celebrate the very process of me passing that particular year? Okay? So the celebration is not only about children getting high marks, but remember that the process of finishing a particular level is already difficult for some. Okay? So in my family, we recognize that I tell my kids, in as much as we like you to be academically good and excellent, but we challenge them that if there's anything that we want to teach you is that you become faithful. Because when you're faithful, you're excellent. Okay? So when you think of celebrating or giving rewards, I think you need to celebrate on not simply on the graduation period only. You celebrate their many successes and developments during that entire period. So in our daughter, our reward is not only personal, but it's a celebration by the whole family. So if one of our kids, did something outside of the academics, then we celebrate that as a family. Okay? So it's not limited to academics because in the end, there are a lot of people who are academically good but are flawed in their character. So we would like to highlight more on, it's like when we celebrate not simply the achievement in the academics, but we celebrate being good stewardship of your time, being a vessel of God's grace to your classmates. It's not just simply the academic, it goes beyond in focusing on the character. Okay, I remember when my daughter was in grade 11, every quarter, her reward will be character award given by the school. And when I was asking myself, so is my daughter really very good academically? But receiving that award from the school every quarter, we were just rejoicing in our hearts that our daughter is not toxic to the classmate, but rather a blessing to the environment that she is. So, you need to go beyond simply the academics and focus more based on the values or the core values or the purpose statement that you have. So in the end, our life, the academic is just only a portion of their lives. There's a big portion in other areas, character-wise.
That is not the way to go. Because you cannot demand apology from your parents. You never do that. You can express this is, you can, because the idea, I think you went through mother, father once. The idea is you express, this is how I felt. But to demand them that you apologize to me, that's incorrect. Because that is disrespectful to the parents. I believe, God has a certain order that you need to submit, you need to respect authority. So even if you are already an adult, you should still give due respect to your parents. So you can perhaps talk to your father and say, this is how I felt when I was younger. When you do that, it is for your benefit because you want to forgive. In other words, when you say to your father and express, I was hurt when I was young, but I have already forgiven you. That should be the bottom line. It's not to express anger, but you should deal with it on your own. You say that I was hurt when I'm 8 years old, and this happened and that happened, but I want you to know that I forgive you. But to demand you apologize to me, that is wrong. I mean, never do that, especially to your father.
Okay, thank you. I know you have questions. Your questions are important for us to answer.
So, we've really learned a lot and love ko ano yung natutunan mo. Briefly, you can share it.
Sa akin, madami.
Okay lang ba damihan ko?
Tumigil lang 1 minute.
So, ayun, yung sa akin is, I was reminded on how I should treat my husband with respect. Kasi yun talaga yung love language nila eh. Parang sinabi nga doon na, tinatanong daw yung mga husband, ano yung isang bagay na hindi ka isang bagay na hindi mo kayang mabuhay ng wala. Love or respect. Alam mo yun, para sa kanila kasi isang meaning lang nun. Yung love sa kanila is respect. So ayun. Kaya we as wives, we should treat our husband with respect. And kailangan maging aware every time. Kasi once na hindi mo na-respect si husband mo, they don't feel that they are loved. So, isa pa doon is yung meaning ng suitable helper. Which is, natuwa ako sa meaning niya kasi parang diba commonly tayong mga wives is iniisip natin we are under our husband's leadership, which is mali yung natin yung ang tawag doon yung mindset natin. Parang doon kasi sinabi doon na from the beginning pa lang we are equal to our husband. Suitable helper, parang binanggit nga daw siya sa Old Testament ng 21 times. 2 of it is referring to the woman. 3 of it is referring to the nations that aid the Israel. And 16 count was referring to the Lord for the aid of Israel. So, dun pa lang hindi siya specific. Parang ano yung gustong ibahagi sa atin dun sa Bible na we as a wife, hindi siya under. Kumbaga, meron tayong significant role talaga. And yun nga, parang inisa-isa din yung meaning nung suitable helper. Yung suitable in Hebrew word, kanegdo, parang di ako sure. Kanegdo. And then yung helper is azer. So, kanegdo means in front or alongside. So, parang hindi daw tayo under, hindi sinabing under. Kaya, siya, suitable, kanegdo, and then as our helper. So, ang pinaka-role daw natin as wives is to protect, kaya ka nasa harapan, to protect your husband, or his image, whatever it is, to protect him. Homemaker ka isa yun sa mga sa mga roles mo. And then, to go alongside with his leadership. Yun nga, sabi doon, you can lead. Nature natin mga babayan, medyo na-overpower natin si hubby. Pero yun nga, you can lead, but lead behind through, you can suggest options, decision making, pero ang may final say pa rin is si husband. And pinaka talagang tumatatak sa akin doon is, let your husband shine. Sabi nun, don't take credit sa mga sa lahat ng decision making or good things na nagawa mo for your family. Kasi you're a team. And team house. And yun nga, diba, si hubby, siya yung nilagay talaga ni God as leader sa family. So, since alongside kayo, since equal kayo, whatever his accomplishments, diba? Accomplishment mo rin. Kasi you're a team.
Thank you. Sa akin, mga ba sinabi mo? Hindi. Isa lang. So sa akin, what's important is how you spend your time and how you spend your time with your children and with your wife. Kasi we could spend lots and lots of time with our loved ones. Sabi nila, quality time is important more than quantity. Actually, hindi naman kailangan pagtalunan kung quality or quantity. Because most parents, most fathers specifically, kasi sila yung talaga nasa labas, majority nag-work, ganyan. Most of them, they allot time, but when they allot that time, when they are on that exact moment to spend time with their children and with their wife, they don't have the right emotions. So what do I mean by that? Pwedeng nag-schedule ka ng outing, pwede ka nag-schedule ka ng bonding time na 1 hour with your children and with your wife, pero pag uwi mo ng trabaho, galit ka naman dahil nadadala mo yung inis mo sa boss mo pagdating sa bahay. So nawawala yung quality time. useless yung quantity time because you don't have the right emotions. So just strike the balance over everything, especially as you spend more time and with the right emotions with your loved ones. So that's it. So we learned a lot during this 2-day seminar, and the reason why we are doing this vlog, actually parang we have the option to not to do this, diba? Pero we are just so blessed to do this vlog, interview people firsthand who really experience this seminar, and even interview some of the speakers, because we really want to promote that the world really needs a father, especially sa amin. The world really needs a father and a mother also who will support, because this world is already dysfunctional, and if you really want to build the life of the next generation, especially if you may mga anak ka ngayon, if you really want to build a bright future for the next generation, a great family, a biblical family culture for your children, it's really important that we as fathers and we as mothers of this generation, well, we could start turning things around, switching things, and learning about biblical way of fatherhood. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed these sessions, and I hope to see you on our next vlog. Bye!